It's time for Transport Line, a program that showcases the contributions for all modes of transportation to the socio-economic growth and development of our country, Africa, and the rest of the world. Transport Line is being to you from the Center of Excellence, the state of aquatic splendor, and Africa's second largest economy, Lagos. I am Shina Elegbede. Glad to know that you are keeping us company. Ups and downs of life is a daily occurrence. But in the mega city of Lagos, the hustle and bustle is most pronounced during this festive period because people want to have what we can call an enjoyable and meaningful festive period. And to do that, you have to work hard for your money. Working hard for it means that you have to move from point A to B, whether with your goods, or you transmit or transport your goods. And at the center of all this is transportation. Transportation is key to everything. Now, because road is the most cheap and the most accessible mode of transportation, most people, of course, they patronize it. And that means in this period, due to human error or what have you, you have accidents. And when road mishap occurs, what do you have? You do many post-mortem, but hardly do they take cognizance of, yes, there was no road markings, the traffic signs were not there, the roads were not properly illuminated. So, digging deep into this, I have with me on set a transportation consultant, a fellow of that Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Olushola Ogunyakin. Olushola, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
And thank you for being there always for us.
Thank you.
Shola, what is the role of local governments, state and federal governments in providing all this?
Thank you very much, sir. Road signs. There are 4 major ones. Some people classify them at 6. The first one is regulatory, to show the laws of the land. Those signs are to say, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't overtake, you can't turn. And then the second one are warning signs. The warning signs are telling you that narrow road, hill, slippery road, and the rest.
Yes.
And then there's a third one that is informatory, that tells you where things are done. And then there are other ones, like the service, where they inform you of where there is a lay-by, where there is a hospital, where there are other things. And then there are guide signs. Now, all this combined is to ensure safety. The major issue about road signs is safety. Whether it is regulatory, whether it is service, whether it is the temporary road signs, the ones that you put when you are doing constructions,
yes.
the ones that, in fact, the law provides that when there is a party of some temporary things, that road signs should be provided. Everything is about safety and prevention of accidents. Now in Nigeria, unfortunately, the road signs have not been adequate, and then the lack of road signs is, by my own assumption or by my own experience, is mainly to extort. And this is painful. And I'll say, because there are places where one-way road signs are supposed to be, and those one-way road signs are removed. And then there are officials at the end of the road that is willing and ready to arrest people for going one way when there is no sign. And they tell you ignorance is not an excuse in law. So what they do on those times is purely extortion. And it's happening all over Nigeria, but especially I live in Lagos. And these are done more by local government traffic agencies or ad hoc people that just constitute themselves to extort people. And it is sad that government do not provide the road signs. And then another area of government or another aspect of government extort people for not obeying road signs that were not provided. And this is sad, and it's happening all over. Road signs help prevent accidents. And a lot of accidents have happened because the road signs are not where they are supposed to be. For example, curves in the old western states, you will see signs that show you there is a bend. You see signs that show you there is a double bend.
Yes.
You see signs that will tell you there is a hill. You see signs that will tell you the road above is slippery. We don't see that anymore. We don't see that anymore. So new travelers on any road assume the road is smooth until they get to a bend, and then accidents happen. So this lack of road signs is a great disservice to the road traveler. It's a great disservice to the road traveler because people assume things are as smooth as they are supposed to be, and then they drive even speed limits.
Yes.
There in the old
speed limits and bumps.
They will tell you children crossing.
Yes.
They will tell you schools. You will see
church,
schools.
mosque.
You see church, and these are supposed to warn you that okay, children might be crossing without minding anything. So ordinarily, when you see those signs,
you slow down.
You slow down. But I can't remember the last time I saw a road sign saying there is schools ahead. I can't remember the last time I saw one. I can't remember the last time I saw a road sign that is saying there is bumps ahead. But there are bumps ahead, or there are slippery road ahead, or you're going uphill, or you're descending. And all these things only increase the accident rate. It's only that when people say accident, we'll say accident is 90% human error. But those human error, in the past, there were things to prevent the human error. They are no longer there. They are no longer there. Yes, we see zebra crossings, but we don't see the signs that say slow down. The only thing we see is there are cones. When you see cones, you know there are construction ahead. But even before those cones, there's supposed to be a sign to say construction ahead, reduce your speed. But we can't see all that now. So the government needs to go back to the olden days to get all these signs on the roads, especially this season. Now, this season, a lot of roads are under construction. In the olden days, when a road is under construction, you will see a sign, diversion, road under construction, diversion 1 kilometer. You will start seeing it from 1 kilometer. It will get to 600 meters. It will get to 400 meters. It will get to 100 meters before you get to the actual diversion. But you don't see anything now. You're almost getting to where the construction is before you see where you are supposed to divert from. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And so a lot of people run into barricades, run into things because there is nothing telling them of what is ahead.
Shola, I mentioned state, local, state, and federal governments. With all respect to those in governance, when our allowances are to be given to officers, within 3 days, running into millions, prone to everything will be done. But this has to do with human life. These have to do with the welfare and safety of the citizenry. So what can be done? What's the role of not only the executive, the legislature in this?
Okay, when you buy a vehicle that is an American spec, as soon as you turn on the engine, some lights come up. In Nigeria, some people disable those lights. Now, why is this? Because in America, the street lightning is so good that you may forget to put on your headlamps even while driving at night. So they make their vehicles compulsorily, because by the time you are driving in places that are not well lit, you might have forgotten that you didn't put on
Your headed lamp.
So that is why when vehicles come, they say American light. As soon as you switch on, there is at least a light coming up, so that oncoming vehicles, even if you forget to put on your main headlamps, automatically somebody sees you coming. Now, that is a legislation that made vehicle manufacturers in America make it compulsory that once you switch on your engine, light must come on, so that people know that a vehicle is coming, despite the street light illumination, because they found out that things happen when somebody forgets to put on the headlight, because the street is so lighted in some places that you don't need your headlamps. But there are also places where the street is not so lighted. Now that is legislation. So it's compulsory that any vehicle manufacturer must ensure that as soon as you put on your ignition, there is a certain level of lightning that comes. And that is what the legislators in Nigeria need to do. What are the issues? What are the causes of accidents? They've tried, there are speed limits, there are for commercial vehicles, it was announced, it was enforced for some time, but the enforcement is not thorough. It's not deep down. The enforcement is only on commercial vehicles, that every commercial vehicle must have a speed limiter installed. Those are things that legislation should do. Now, it shouldn't be only on commercial vehicles. The legislation must go down to every vehicle on the road. What will be the speed limit for every vehicle? Now, a lot of this has to be done through the legislature, because what happens in Nigeria is Federal Road Safety Corps brings up some things that they think it is good, but at the end of the day, it is not backed
by law.
And this must change. Whatever the Federal Road Safety Corps proposes as good for Nigerians must first pass through, so it becomes a law. It becomes a law, it becomes a rule. And that's why there are controversies about tinted permit and the rest. Fine, the police find it that, fine, tinted permit encourages crime. But they are going about it by just saying, we will arrest tinted permit. If there is a law passed by the House of Reps and the Senate that restricts tinted permit, then it becomes binding on everybody. So that's the role that the legislator, like the law enforcement agents, the traffic controllers, must go through proper legislation to get things done. Not that because I am in charge, VIP. I am a law enforcement agent. There are good things in what they suggest. The issues are that the good things must be passed through the law. And just like we're talking about these road signs, it must also be said that before any construction starts, there must be a law that would enforce that you're starting a road construction, this and these signs should be there. It should be part of the law. So those are the things the legislators should do. That, okay, you're having a diversion, you must have your signs 1 kilometer, 500 meters, It should be there. It should be part of the law. So if the construction company is not doing it, then they are liable.
Yeah.
But those laws, I don't think they are there. So anybody can start a construction without giving anybody any warning. There must be laws that says, okay, before you start a closure of road, you must give these hours of notice and give alternative, and published and advertised in newspapers and radios for a certain period of time before you start. That must be part of the law. So those are the things that the legislator must put in place and ensure that everybody gets to know. Not that I just come one day and I find out that a road has been blocked.
Yes.
There is no sign. I only get there to turn back and the rest and the rest.
No
So
proper
that-
diversion.
No proper diversion. Even the road that we are supposed to divert to.
It's in a terrible state.
So yes, the legislator has a very big role to play.
Yes, should I raise that because see, we are in a democracy, and we should not be running governance based on whims and caprices of those in governance. We should do things the way they are supposed to be done, and thank God you've highlighted some of them. You see, you come now. Last night I was coming from Lekki Aziz, blah blah blah. Lekki Ikoibubwe, you won't believe it. It's like you're in Saudi Arabia, well illuminated, the roads and what have you. Third Milan V, same old story. Oronshoki, same old story. Then between Oronshoki and what do you call it? Alapere. Now you are coming down to where we are. That is we. You. From that level, 7 up. Okay, Mubalaji, Alausa, Mubalaji Johnson, former secretary. Okay, well it. But the rest, guy, I said, we are in Nigeria. The same citizenry. What is happening? Discrimination or what? The white man is no longer here. We are the same thing. And at the end of the day, you never know. Because it's not all the time that you go through your so-called executive fiat.
Interestingly, we're talking as an average Nigerian. But if we go deep and look at the budget of the federal government and the budget of Lagos State for this year,
Even local governments.
I can assure you that all these things are there and appropriated for. I can assure you that there are House of Reps and Senate. There are what they call community projects that includes street lighting. And every year it's in that budget. Every year's budget, you will see street lighting for so many local government in the representative budgets, in the Senate budget, in the state budget, in the local government budget. It doesn't happen. It's corruption. It's corruption. If you look, now we are in December, they spent all the money. It is not a new law that the legislator should make. It is part of this year's budget that some of these things should have been done before now. So if we are now saying in 3 weeks they will do it, where will they get the money? They spent the money. That's the truth. If you check Lagos State's budget for this year, you will see the number of street lights and road signs that are in the budget. How many did they implement? So it's not just about if they pass the law in 3 weeks, they can do it in 3 weeks. It's already part of the budget. And the budget is already a law because it's passed by the state assembly or the federal assembly and ascended to either by the president or by the governor. So it's a law. Are they obeying it? So it's not about passing a new law about what we are going to do in 3 weeks before Christmas or what we are going to do. It's have they obeyed the law that had already been passed concerning street lights, road signs, and the rest since the beginning of the year? Have they obeyed it? If they have obeyed it, we will not be seeing what we are seeing. And that's the truth. So it's not about we now telling them to enact law to. No. There are things that have been provided for in the budget for this year that covered all these things we are saying. Have they been done? So those are the issues. So it's not new. It's every year they provide for these things. Either as a legislator, you provide that you want street lights in your community, in your representative area, or, you know, three layers. A senator will ask for community projects. A House of Reps member will ask for community projects. A State House of Representative member will ask for community projects. They will be provided for in the Senate, in the budget. Are we implementing it? If everything that has been passed since we started democracy in community projects, if they have executed those community projects, I can tell you, there will not be a street in Nigeria without street lights. But what happens? What happens to community projects? What happens to the budget? Those are laws passed by the appropriate arms of government. So if we are now saying they should pass another law, it won't work. Let them follow the laws they have passed in the past. Let them follow what they have said they will do as community projects in the budget. That's a law. There cannot be a law that is bigger than what the budget have said. They've made provisions. They've made provisions and financial commitments. And I can tell you that most of these monies have been collected.
We, as citizens, like Mr. President have been saying for the opening time, we should ask those who are representing us, whether at the local, state, even federal level, what is happening. Because at the end of the day, all these issues are tied to what? Human life. Shola, I've just been signaled that our time is up, and I want to thank you for finding time to come. Is an ongoing issue, talking about traffic signs, road markings, and illuminations of our roads. The streets must be properly lit. That way, it will serve as a deterrent to criminally minded people. That way, it will alert you to say that, there is danger ahead. What do I say? What step do I take? I thank you very much for finding time to come. Christmas is approaching. We hope the security in our land, in our country, will improve, and we have a memorable and good Christmas to celebrate.
Well, as Christmas is approaching, I want to implore everybody to be cautious and not to display too much extravagance. Please, even if the money is with you, do not throw it in the air. The times are hard for some people. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance.
Well, before we draw the curtain, shall I stick with my usual slogan? I think it's the past, I don't know how many episodes now, and I won't stop saying it until we really see things practically improving. That is compassion. Be your brother's keeper. Especially Christmas season is season of what? Love, joy, happiness. So fellowship. Thank God in this part of the country is religious harmony, and we hope we keep to that. Be your brother's keeper. That way, Lagos State, Nigeria will be a better place for us all. Till next time, bye bye for now.